Hello. This is going to be a quick one. This is Tinubu's federal government response to Obasanjo. This is with regards to the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Roads that Obasanjo sort of criticized the current government of corruption and wastefulness in terms of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. Now, the reason why I'm reading this response is obviously it's fair to say one person says one thing, the other one is to balance it as well with whatever their response is. And then I will give you my thoughts. So please, I want you to watch this to the end. And I will daily try as much as possible daily to bring you just one of those news from the newspapers per day. And then we would look at how we can address other areas of our country. Um, because now we've taken the eagle's eyes to every sector of our nation. All right, from the executive to the judiciary, and to every sector, every areas where we have elected government and personnel to make sure that we bring these guys to account because for so long we've been passive. But I'll get right into the news. So FG to Obasanjo, don't pass through Lagos-Calabar Highway whenever it's completed. So the federal government has asked former President Obasanjo and those criticizing the Lagos-Calabar Highway, among other legacy projects of the President Bola Tinubu, not to pass through the roads when completed, clarifying that the 15.6 trillion naira Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project was not a wasteful and corrupt. The government, in another breath, took a swipe at Obasanjo for allegedly downplaying the importance of Tinubu's infrastructure project. Obasanjo, in his recent memoir, had described the project as wasteful and corrupt, slamming Tinubu's administration for spending 21 billion naira on a new official residence for the Vice President Kashim Shettima and called it a misplaced priority and conduit designed to embezzle public funds. Minister of Works David Umahi urged Nigerians to ignore comments by Obasanjo that the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway was wasteful and corrupt. He made the assertion during his working visit to Ondo State for a second interactive session on the Ondo state axis of the 71-kilometer Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project. The meeting, which held at the Government House Akure, was a follow-up to the first stakeholders meeting held on October 31, 2024 on the project. Specifically, Umahi asked those criticizing the project and other legacy project of President Bola Tinubu not to pass through the roads when they are completed. We will revisit that, insisting that the project was not wasteful and corrupt. Umahi stated that the project was transparent and the people that had the right to be jealous and that people had the right to be jealous and angry. The minister who said the alignment unveiling was the final stage of the road approval reminded Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa of Ondo State to issue a revocation order on the route in line with the laws of the land, adding that the alignment had reduced the route from 75 kilometers to 71 kilometers. Umahi assured Ondo residents that President Tinubu was determined to complete all inherited projects and the four legacy projects of his administration, noting that all the senatorial zones were covered by the four legacy projects. The man, Obasanjo, deserves our respect. And I've not read the book, but the Calabar Coastal Highway is not a wasteful and corrupt. It's not wasteful and corrupt. Apologies. Anybody criticizing the project is waking up to say how can one man Tinubu will be attributed to these types of projects, he said. Speaking on other federal government projects in Ondo State, Omai said that they were looking into the issues of the compensation so that the contract would not be stored. He said dualization of the Elisha Akure Benin Highway was stored by funding, but assured the people that the contractor was bound to make the road motorable. Earlier, Ayedatiwa reaffirmed his administration's commitment to the successful completion of the federal road project in the state, emphasizing the crucial role of infrastructure in driving economic growth and development. Ayedatiwa thanked the President Bola Tinubu on the increase in federal presence in Ondo through many infrastructure projects, including the ongoing Ondo Akure Akure Dualization Project, a federal teaching hospital and new aviation school, among others. He said, "We have not had it so good in recent times with federal projects in our state. Permit me to mention but a few: Akure or dual carriage way, the Akure Odo Ekiti dual carriageway, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, and the Federal University of Technology Teaching Hospital, Akure." He further stressed the importance of completing the project, noting their potential to boost economic activities in the state and southwest region. He also appealed for additional federal support to actualize critical projects such as the Ondo Deep Sea Port and the mitigation of the Ayetoro Sea incursion. In a related development, the presidency, while taking a swipe at Obasanjo, the special assistant to Tinubu on social media, Data Olusegun, accused Obasanjo of attempting to rewrite history by neglecting his own failures while in office. In a verified post on X, D.O. Olusegun descended on the ex-president, saying his claims in the memoir would further relegate his integrity as a leader who opened Nigeria to the cankerworms of corruption. I like that they're calling themselves out right now. According to the presidential, by underplaying the importance of the Lagos Calabar project in his latest book, OBJ has not only affirmed to those who witnessed his administration's several failures to address the needs of the country when he had the opportunity, but he also put in written form a position which generations to come will indeed question. He accused Obasanjo of failing to deliver on key infrastructure projects during his 8 year tenure, particularly in his home state of Ogun. According to Olusegun, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, one of Nigeria's most crucial road projects, stagnated for 16 years under Obasanjo and his party, the PDP, until the former President Muhammad Buhari revived it. He said, despite spending 8 years in government and failing in his attempt to force himself on Nigerians on further 4 years as president, Obasanjo failed woefully in addressing the infrastructural needs of his state. Indeed, it took former President Buhari just 3 years to deliver the first modern rail to pass through Obasanjo's back end in Abeokuta. Olusegun further accused Obasanjo of mishandling Nigeria's power sector, failing to revive the nation's refineries, and seeing a fraudulent privatization of NITO. He disclosed that Tinubu was now making the tough decisions that past leaders, including Obasanjo, failed to take. President Tinubu will not be deterred by distractions such as this. He stated that insisting that Nigerians who prioritize development will remain focused on administration's progress. According to him, Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, a key project under Tinubu's administration, was expected to significantly boost Nigeria's economy and improve connectivity along the nation's coastline. Alongside other major roads projects like the Sokoto-Badagry Highway and the Lagos-Abuja Highway, he said it represents a bold infrastructure push by the current government. His words, President Obasanjo must emulate others before him by returning to his writing board to at least attempt to explain to Nigerians why he failed to help Nigeria transition into a proper country under his leadership. So this is a lot of story here. It's a long read actually, but I just want to touch briefly on the things that were mentioned here. First of all, one of the things Obasanjo called out this project for was corruption, and the corruption bit was that nobody bidded for it. The president just awarded the contract to whoever he awarded the contract to. There was no open bid for this major. It's a major contract, whether or not you like it. It's a lot of money to give to one particular contractor, 15.6 trillion naira for one contract for one job. So literally, what would have happened is that the government would have actually opened the bidding and get the right people, the likes of Julius Berger and the likes, to come in and bid for it rather than just giving it to one contractor. All right. So this is where the part of the corruption is, because then what you're doing literally is that you're taking from the Nigerians and giving it to the contractor. Where you could have just, all right, tell us how you're going to do the job and tell us your price. So some of these things I mentioned in my previous video when I addressed it in terms of when Obasanjo made these declarations about corruption and wastefulness for the road. The second part is that the federal government telling Obasanjo and people criticizing this project not to travel on the road is insane, because You're not using your own money. You're using the people's money to do the work. You're not using your personal funds to do the work. So you don't have any right to tell Nigerians to use the roads and not to use the road. That's out of your own remit in the first place. Now, addressing further areas of this, nobody's going to say, nobody's saying that doing roads will not be beneficial for Nigerians. It will be beneficial for Nigerians. However, it's the way and manner you go about doing the road. That's where we're saying that's where the corruption bit is coming from, the wastefulness in question. Because you have to take into account people's houses in that part of the road. You're going to pay them or compensate them for the land you're going to take off of them, even though it's for federal government. But obviously, people own the land. So you're going to have to compensate them for taking their land to use for federal projects. Okay. And then you're going to have to, if their houses are there, they have to build new houses for them. But we know Nigerian government never does that anyway. Subsequent government have also shown us before from time that, or prior government rather, have shown us from time when the government wants something to just take it and they just displace the people, give them ultimatum to move, which is improper, So, in all, what is happening with this news is just the fact that the Tinubu administration has come back to Obasanjo to say, sorry, you're lying, you're not telling the truth. Now, there are other areas they accuse Obasanjo, which we know he failed. There's been recent reports where it was alleged that Obasanjo wanted a third time and he failed in that bid. The second part is this. The rigging that happened during the PDP period of ruling Nigeria destroyed Nigeria and brought in the likes of the APC today. So if Obasanjo, for example, had done the right thing, or Obasanjo's PDP administrations had done the right thing, fix Nigeria, get our judiciary to be independent and work with integrity, the kind of corruption that we saw in 2023 wouldn't have happened. And there's no way we would have had a Tinubu if predecessors had done the right thing. So in the spokesperson response to Obasanjo, you would want to agree with it, saying, yes, I agree with you, because your principal would not have made it in with the way they rigged the election in 2023, as alleged they rigged the election in 2023. There is no way we would have had this current president. I mean, you can see the amount of rigging that happened all over Nigeria. INEC had people's faces and they counted the results. They used every power stater you can think of, the police, the INEC, they turned off the server just to make one person win. So if the likes of Obasanjo and the administrations that followed him afterward had done the right thing, there is no way we would have gotten the president, Tinubu. There's no way we would have gotten a governor in Imo State, the current governor in Imo State. What happened in Rivers State would never have possibly happened, where one person will rig a local government and a tunnel of votes just came in and then made one person go president. And then the person who did that became compensated with a ministerial post to become the first FCT minister. Can you imagine that? You can see the subsequence of the series of events that follows after. If the corruption had been fixed earlier, the judges had been put in prison, the ones that were corrupt, nobody would have attempted to do exactly this. So I agree with him in a sense. That's why we have corruption all over the place. That's why our infrastructures ain't working. Our mining industry is not working. Our petroleum industry is not working. Our refineries have been dead for so many years because somebody's been eating the money and making sure that never works. Nigeria could not build a refinery for so many years, but one individual, together with government, worked to build a refinery that's taken the entire world by storm. So you're telling me that there was no corruption? So in a nutshell, in a sense, I agree with that guy when he made mention of it. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to read this news out today, just to point out, my agreement with the news, in a sense, and the other part to say, look, there were corruption as alleged. You can say, as Obasanjo did allege in his memo, saying it was corrupt practice and wasteful because you did not go through the right process of, choosing the right contractor for this project. And you didn't have Nigerians didn't have a say. And secondly, our Senate, our National Assembly should have had a say in revoking the process, but obviously because they're rubber stamp, because you have a say. You can say, yes, we're agreeing for you to do this project, but the right process must be followed. We need to see the tenders. Nigerians need to see that the right people bidded for this project and see how it is awarded, rather than just giving to an individual or particular business to under the construction of the Lagos-Calabar road project. As always, if you're meeting this content for the first time, please like, share, subscribe. We want to make sure we start calling every single government parastater into account. They must do the right thing by us, and time has come where we will make them do the right thing. Enough is enough. As always, thank you. God bless. But make sure you subscribe and keep the comments coming. God bless you. Bye bye for now.